So welcome to Tips on How to Become a Manifesting Machine. The purpose of this presentation is to help you learn the secrets and science behind manifesting. Manifestation has been put firmly in the woo-woo category, but it is actually backed by quantum physics and neuroscience. So we're going to learn a little bit more about that today and debunk the myths around manifesting and learn how you can start manifesting. Like, you will walk away today knowing the protocol, the step-by-step actions that you can take to become a manifesting machine in your life. So if you don't know me, my name is Kitty Coy. I have a neuroscience degree from CU Boulder. I actually was a behavioral neuroscience researcher. I did drug development testing for the FDA and clinical research. And specifically, I studied how the structure of your brain affects your behavior and how your behavior affects and changes the structure of your brain. I left research to become a magnetic mind coach because I am passionate about supporting people and teaching them the tools that I learned along in my journey. I had a very interesting and tumultuous life. I came from a lot of hardship and trial and neglect and abuse as a kid. And then I learned and gathered all these tools in my own self-healing process. So I am deeply passionate about sharing them with others and supporting people with everything that I've learned, because I love helping people. Specifically, my favorite thing that I love to do is to help people get clear in what is their heart's deepest desire, what is the vision of what they want to manifest more than anything in the world. And when you know and we can connect to your heart's deepest desire, I use neuroscience-based tools to release the resistance, which could be fear, self-doubt, procrastination, unworthiness, whatever that is, and so that you can consistently be in action towards your vision. And I love to say, borrowed from someone amazing named Lindsay, that when you take one step towards your dream takes 1,000 steps towards you. Thanks for that, Lindsay. I've been borrowing that phrase because it is so true. And that's where the magnetic part comes in magnetic mind, is when we can get your name to be, or when you can get your mind to be magnetic, you are actually literally manifesting your dreams into your reality. So that's what I do. I'm certified in meditation and mindset and all of these other things that are very interesting, like NLP, superconscious recoding. This is just to share with you that I am an expert in these subjects we're talking about today. What's very different for me is I take a very scientific approach to all of this. And personally, I am a manifesting machine. I have, in the last 3 years, manifested 9 of my lifetime bucket list achievements, and including publishing a book and becoming a best-selling author, opening a wellness center, booking my first international speaking engagement, starting to speak at national conferences, and all of these different things. I manifested the perfect opportunity to go hike the Inca Trail. I manifested the perfect opportunity. I'm going to go live on a sailboat in Greece. And I just share this with you because if I can be a manifesting machine, you can too. I have just figured out the protocol of how to get there. And that's what I'm so passionate about sharing with you today. So let's start with the definition of what is manifesting, just so we can all be on the same page. Manifesting is focusing your thoughts on something you want in an effort to bring it to your reality. And Albert Einstein said this like 80 years ago or something. It was a long time ago. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. If you can match the frequency of the reality you want to create, you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not a philosophy, it's physics. And so that's what I love, is because when we get frustrated and we feel challenged in our manifesting, we think, oh, and like a lot of things, it's like, oh, this is a spiritual. I mean, some people have manifestation as a spiritual practice, but it is quantum physics. And if Albert Einstein, I would consider, is an expert on quantum physics. And so if he says manifesting is quantum physics, I am inclined to believe him. So if everything is energy, and Albert Einstein says that, we'll trust him. Let's talk a little bit about the science of manifesting and how is that energy helping or hurting you in your manifesting. So each thought, belief, or emotion and your attitude creates an energy. So each thought has an energy, and we, by the way, have 80,000 thoughts a day. We have tens of thousands of beliefs, uncountable amounts of emotions and a few specific attitudes. So each of those is projecting an energy out. So when we think about them all combined together, all of your thoughts, all of your emotions, all of your beliefs are actually creating this energetic field around you. And it's shaped like this donut shape where we're in the hole of the donut is called a torus. And what's so cool about this is yogis and people, spiritual people have been saying for centuries that we have an energetic field. Most people in that arena have been calling it your auric field, but it's really just an energy field around you. But what's so cool is we can actually measure it now. Thanks to HeartMath, they can actually easily measure your energetic field. Most people have an energetic field of about 3 to 6 feet. Some people have bigger energy fields, and you already know that because they have big personality, larger than life personalities. They tend to have an infectious energy and they're highly enthusiastic. I happen to be one of those people that has a very large energy field. My energy field has been measured at 15 to 16 feet around me, where most people, their energy field is about 3 to 6 feet. I go about 15 feet all the way around me. So, and if you've known me for any period of time, you know, I've got people will say, like, you've got big energy. They're not kidding. I literally have big energy. And so HeartMath has proven that this energy field is real. And this energy field is what you call, is actually your superconscious mind. And I learned a little bit about this even when I was in college for neuroscience 15, 20, oh, that was maybe even almost 20 years ago. They would talk about the superconscious, but I only heard it referenced once or twice. I never really knew what it was until I became truly understood what it was until I became a magnetic mind coach. So let's talk about your levels of consciousness. You've probably seen this image of the iceberg analogy, where your conscious mind is the ice above the water, and your conscious mind is your thoughts. And then your subconscious in this iceberg analogy is the ice below the water, which is 95 times bigger than the ice above the water. That's how icebergs work. And that's how your mind, the levels of your consciousness work. Your subconscious mind is it's a lot of things like your personality, your body language, your autonomic nervous system, like your heartbeat, your respiration, your attitude, your emotions, your beliefs, your personality is subconscious. And so all these things are just to say this is a level of your mind below your conscious awareness. And in this analogy, like I said, you've probably seen this iceberg picture in the past without the superconscious, without this added over here. Your superconscious in the iceberg analogy is the water around the iceberg. It is our energy field around us, is our superconscious mind. And it is actually what creates the results in our lives. And it's really fascinating how it works is our conscious mind and our subconscious mind are sending information to our energy field, to our subconscious mind. And this, superconscious mind, this conscious mind, all of these, the S's sometimes occasionally slip up. The conscious mind and the subconscious mind are informing our superconscious mind. And creating the results in our life. So and we'll talk a little bit about when we talk about how to become a manifesting machine, what alignment is. But when your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, your thoughts, your beliefs and emotions are in alignment, it's like a fishing pole that, the kind that break it in half and you put it together and you fish and you bring in what you want. Your superconscious mind is using the energy field to attract whatever you want. But the problem is most of us live our lives out of alignment. I want abundance. That's my conscious desire, my thought. And our subconscious emotion or belief is, well, I've only ever lived in scarcity, or I've lived paycheck to paycheck. Maybe I don't believe that I deserve abundance. And if you have a fishing pole and you're trying to do this with the fishing pole, you don't get very far. You're not able to manifest. By the way, our subconscious communicates in analogies. So I love to tell stories and analogies around this. Another way to think about this is if your superconscious mind is a taxi driver. And in the back is your superconscious mind is a taxi driver. In the back is your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And they're yelling left, no right, no left, no right. The superconscious mind actually doesn't know what to do. So what does it do? It defaults to the subconscious And it just repeats the past again and again. And in that way, recreating the experiences we've experienced again and again in our lives. And so that is the best way to describe this. You don't need to memorize or know this, but just as I say, the superconscious mind is our energy field, and it is creating the results in our life. And that's an important fact to remember, is just our energy field creates our results. That's basically the summary of that. So let's get a little bit deeper. I want to share that some of these things have been studied. It's like this specific, this is a quantum physics explanation of manifesting. There's 2 scientific experiments that prove that manifesting is real. I'm going to give you a few sentence summary. This specific experiment has been studied continuously for 97 years, since 1927, because the results don't make any sense. And they're trying to understand the realm and the limits of it. So there could be a multi-thousand page scientific paper written about and there probably is, the double slit experiment. I'm going to just explain to you just a little bit. And then I'm telling you what the experiments are, or what the phenomenons are, so you can look it up if you really want to understand the how, or we can always talk about it later. But the double slit experiment was really cool. It started in 1927, and it's continuously been going since then. As they had a machine that fired individual electrons at a gold leaf that had 2 slits in it. And what they found is when a scientist, a conscious human, was observing the electrons being fired, this is what, and then there was something that was being received that was like the measuring piece at the back. And this is not like a zoomed in version. These are 2 at like the same a volume of zoom. This is what the pattern looks like. When a human being was observing, the electrons created this single bar. And when the same gun was firing electrons, but nobody was watching, like they put the machine on and they all went to lunch and they came back, this is what it looked like, which is the wave pattern, and this is the particle pattern. And so the purpose of why I'm telling you this is, and the reason why it keeps being studied, is when electrons are being consciously observed, they react differently. A different way to say that is your consciousness affects the matter in the 3D world outside you and changes the outcome. And so they've done crazy studies. So like, and that's the 97 years why they're trying to understand the limits of this. So what they learned is that, like, some of the experiments, okay, like if they have a scientist in the room watching, it's observed. And this is how the electron shows up. But what if and then they were like, I wonder, they put a camera that watches the electron machine, but the scientists are watching it from another room. If the scientists are watching the electrons go live via a camera, it's observed. If they watch the recording later, it's not observed. And then have actually done experiments where the scientist in another room would say, at this split second, I'm going to change, and I'm going to, with my mind, they're not even actually looking at the machine, but a scientist with their mind would say, I want it to be the observed electron pattern, and it would change instantaneously. And then I want it to be the not observed pattern. So the scientist with their mind can actually change how the electron is showing up, even if they're not consciously watching it. Oh gosh, I got whole body goosebumps. Like, so it's crazy. Your consciousness affects matter and changes the outcome. And that's why they've been studying this for 97 years, because this is crazy. This doesn't make any sense. But basically saying, the reason why I'm telling you this, observing your thoughts, your emotions, your behaviors can change the outcome in your life. And so whatever you focus on, whatever your consciousness is observing, is actually changing what's happening around you in the 3D world. So now let's talk about the other experiment, which is called quantum entanglement. Albert Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance, because it is absolutely crazy how this works. But basically, quantum entanglement is that there's 2 particles. These 2 particles are connected. And then so they took these particles and separated them, and they affected one, and instantaneously, not a millisecond later, but instantaneously, they did something to that particle and it affected the other particle. And then they actually did this to recreate this because again, they've been studying this a long time. They actually took particles that were entangled, things that were connected, and put them like on opposite poles of the earth, thousands of miles away. And they would affect one particle and the other one at the same exact moment, instantaneously, the other one was affected, which means that whatever this is why it's called spooky action at a distance that's faster than the speed of light. There is no known mechanism that quantum physics understands on how a particle can be affected faster. Like nothing moves faster than light. So how is it instantaneous? No matter how far the distance, you affect one particle, you affect the other particle. This is kind of complicated and I don't want you to get too confused about it. I just want to say you and your desired outcome, your dream, whatever you're working on manifesting are two entangled particles. And so if you have your dream has you. And that's why as you change and do things, as you take one step towards your dream takes 1,000 steps towards you because you are entangled particles. As you affect and change, observe your thoughts, raise your vibration, do something that makes you more effective in manifesting, your dream is coming to you. So this is part of how manifestation works. Again, these are just brief overviews to help you understand. If you want to learn more, I would love to talk more about these things after the presentation or privately or whatever, or you can look them up yourself. But double slit experiment and quantum entanglement are the two quantum physics experience or the experiment and the phenomenon. The quantum entanglement has had many different experiments on it, but these are the phenomenon and experiments you would look up if you wanted to learn more about the quantum physics of manifesting. So everything is energy. Albert Einstein said it. I'm willing to trust him. He's an expert in quantum physics. And energy attracts energy. So energies naturally align with similar energies, which is why we tend to attract people in our lives and connect with people that are similar to us in specific ways. And if like attracts like, then love certainly attracts love. And we know this because if you look around you, you tend to, I mean, even if you are in a room of 100 people, you walk in, whoever you are, you will find yourself finding the one person that's the most similar to you, maybe because you're at the punch bowl next to each other, things like that. Like we just naturally attract people in our lives. And it's your energy field that's doing the attracting. And remembering that's a superconscious mind. Remember that's being dictated by your subconscious, your emotions and your beliefs are then creating and putting out energy into this energy field that is then seeking out other energies, which is why the times of my life that I was more depressed or anxious, I tended to attract people that were depressed or anxious. The times in my life where I am doing excellent and I'm soaring high, I tend to attract more people that are doing excellent in their lives because my energy field, informed by my subconscious mind, is the one doing the attracting. And so, I just said this, it's dictated by our beliefs and our emotions. And it's a good day versus a bad day. Have you ever noticed, like maybe you were thinking it was going to be a great day, but you wake up and you walk out of the door and you spill coffee down your shirt, but you can't go back and change, darn. And then traffic makes you late, darn. And then, and have you ever noticed when you're having either a good day or a bad day, that more things in alignment with that energy show up? So like if you're having a bad day, you're like a million reasons why you're having a bad day can show up in your life. And that's because that's your subconscious mind doing the attracting. When you're having a bad day and you have these emotions about the day, you have an attitude about the day that you're experiencing, that's being projected in your energy field. And your energy field, this fishing pole says bad day. Okay, cool. I'll just find and bring in more things that are going to make you experience a bad day. And the same thing with a good day. Like I've had days where I like wake up and I'm just like having the best day. And it doesn't matter what happens or what anybody says. I am just having this amazing day because my energy field is attracting experiences in the external world that's reinforcing my internal state. So if like attracts like, love attracts love. This is what's so amazing. So this map of consciousness is from Dr. David Hawkins. The book is called Power versus Force. I won't get into, you can read the book, you can learn more about it, about how he got these numbers, but this is the energetic vibration This is the energy level of emotions. And so just notice these emotional energy levels, and each emotion has a specific energy level. The higher level emotions have higher energy. So enlightenment, peace, joy, love have a higher energy level than grief, guilt, shame, apathy. And so higher levels of energy bring higher level things into your life, because we're attracted, like attracts like. So when you're in a state of love, you attract more love into your life. When you're in a state of willingness, you attract more success, growth, and like things that eh, ways to overcome your resistance. When you're in a place of fear, you attract more anxiety and worry. When you're in a place of shame, you attract more things that make you miserable and make you feel humiliated. And so that's why I love this as a beautiful visual example. I use this all the time as just a reminder when I find myself and like maybe, I'm having that bad day and traffic isn't good or whatever, and I'm attracting these things again and again I don't want. I'll say, what can I do to shift my emotional state in this moment to raise my vibration, literally, to be in a place of a higher vibrational emotion? And one thing I want to share with you is gratitude as a beingness state is the highest energy level that they've ever actually measured. And that's not gratitude like, oh, thank you for the coffee, I appreciate it. That is the beingness state of just reverence and gratitude for life. I'm grateful I woke up. I'm grateful the sun is shining. Even if the sun isn't shining, even if I'm sick, even if whatever, I am just deeply grateful for life. The emotional state of gratitude, the prolonged emotional state of gratitude, has been measured at 900, which is deeply into the state of enlightenment. So if you're looking to attain, and so like if you've heard anything about manifesting or whatever, our spiritual journey is, generally speaking, over our lifetime, many lifetimes, whatever you believe, to reach enlightenment. But I can tell you right now that they have measured what enlightenment is, and it is the gratitude state, like the beingness gratitude state of just being so in love with life, so in love with yourself, so in love with everything, even if it's not to your preference, even if things are falling apart. When you can hold that gratitude as a beingness state, you have reached enlightenment. So I just wanted to share that. I find that to be very powerful. And if you ever want to know the key, the reason I share this is the key to working your way up these emotions is gratitude. You're in a place of guilt, gratitude. You're in a place of anger, gratitude. The answer to all of these emotions you don't want to be in is gratitude. So with that being said, let's go through the number one myth about manifesting, and then we'll talk our way through all of the little potholes that you might find yourself in around manifesting. So the number one myth about manifesting, this is why most people are not able to manifest in your life. This is where the book and the movie, The Secret, did us a great disservice in the manifestation community, is they don't tell you about the most important part. Literally, the book and the movie, The Secret, only tells you about half of the equation, and they don't tell you the important part of the equation, which is you need to take action. And so traditional, like popular manifesting is think positive thoughts and positive things will come in your life. Make a vision board, never look at it again, never do anything, put it in a drawer, and 10 years later, see if you got it. Intuitively, that sounds crazy because it is. That is not, you might be able to manifest things. I've heard some crazy stories about people having, and this is just a fun story to tell. I met a woman who, when she was a teenager, cut a picture out of a magazine, out of a travel magazine, and put it on her vision board, and then moved away. And then 20 years later is living, she's a digital nomad. She lives in all these places around the world. And she was walking around and she had this strange calling to this specific hotel. And she would find herself stopping, and it was on her way to the beach, but she would just stop and look at this. And one day she was like, this just feels too familiar. She had her mom go look, take a picture of her vision board. She had put a picture of her, I have goosebumps. She had put a picture of that hotel as a very specific entrance. She had put a picture on her vision board 25 years earlier, something crazy, 20 years earlier. So sometimes this can be true, but it took her 25 years to get there, or 20 years or whatever. I don't have 20 years to wait. I want to manifest things in my life quicker than that. So how do you manifest things quicker in your life? You take action. You can make a vision board, but then put it up, look at it every day, and consistently take actions towards creating what you want. And I want to share with you the story of my clinic. So I own this wellness clinic. This is me and my husband doing a high five right in front of the clinic entrance. And so what happened is I'd been visualizing. I had this dream for 4 years, and I was visualizing and I was visualizing, and I was doing all these practices, releasing resistance, calling in what I wanted, but I was never, because I was listening to the movie The Secret, and I was never taking action in the 3D world. So I spent 4 years visualizing or something like that, and it was a long time. And I had somebody who pointed that out, and they're like, well, why aren't you taking any action? It was a coach. And that's why coaches are amazing. They challenge us to do and step up in ways in our life that we don't see. Because, by the way, this happened, it was May 2020 when she was like, so open your clinic. And I was like, no, the world is shut down. I don't want a brick and mortar. That's a liability. Clinics are barely even opening in my state right now from COVID shutdown. And I don't know that. And she was like, that sounds like a lot of great excuses. Find one way to take action in the 3D world towards this vision. One way. And she said, I'll see you in 2 weeks. So I thought about it, and I was like, I could manage somebody else's clinic. Like, all these clinics are opening with PPE and all this crazy stuff, and they probably need support in opening so that they can focus on their clients. I'm a great project manager. I could help manage the new schedule or distance or PPE or whatever it is. I'll help manage them reopening their clinic in exchange for them teaching me how to manage a clinic. And like the operations stuff. So like, what is sales tax and why do you need it? And what does it mean? And how do you do it? And stuff like that. So I decided that was my action step. I wrote down a list of everything I wanted, because getting clear on what you want is another step. So in this step, this action step, I was like, I'm going to manage somebody else's clinic. What I want it to be within 15 minutes of my house. I want it to be within less than 3 to 5 hours a week, so it doesn't disrupt my regular business. I want it to be a win-win situation where this person actually wants to teach me how to fish. They want to teach me how to manage a clinic instead of just telling me how to do stuff. They told me the why and they teach me. I had some other things I wanted, which I don't even remember now. I got clear on what I wanted, and I started writing a resume, because it's like, how else are you supposed to do this? I will write a resume detailing my project management skills, and I don't know, take it to clinics, Google places within 15 minutes of me and take it to them. I don't know. I didn't have step 2 figured out yet, but step 1, my action step, was to write a resume. So I wrote this project management resume, and I was like a third done, maybe half done. I find myself in a Polka Dot Powerhouse Connect with just a friend, somebody I had known years ago, but we hadn't spoken in 3 years. And I said at the end of our Connect call, well, how can I support you? And she said, well, do you know anybody who wants to manage a clinic? I'm moving to Arizona in 2 weeks, and I don't know what's going to happen to my clinic because 85% of my clients are online, but 15% of them aren't. And like, do you know anybody who wants to manage a clinic? It's 14 minutes from your house. It would be 3 to 5 hours a week. And I would love to like teach somebody how to manage this clinic, and then eventually have them take over and manage the clinic and take over the space. And it could be their space. Do you know anybody? I was like, oh, me. She's like, great, you're hired. Blows my mind. And so what I want to share so amazing story. That's one of the things I manifested. But here's the reason why I tell you all the details of that story. It doesn't need to be the right action to manifest what you want. My correct action step at the time was write a resume. To this day, that resume is not finished and no one's ever seen it. But at the moment when I decided that was my action step, that was the most obvious action step I could take. That was the thing that I thought could help me. And so it doesn't have to be the perfect or most efficient action step. And I'm saying this for I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I get stuck in but I don't know if this is the one way to get it. And this is why I say, when you take one action step, your dream takes 1,000 steps towards you. I wrote a resume nobody ever saw, and my clinic was handed to me on a silver platter in a Connect call in the most unimaginable, unreasonable, unexpected way, because I took the action. And the action is what told the universe I'm serious. So again, doesn't have to be the right action. You just need to take the best, most obvious action in that moment that could get you towards what you want to create. So with that being said, let's go through the 4 major challenges with manifesting and how do you address each and every one of them. One of the first potholes, and I keep calling these potholes, one of the first potholes we fall into in manifesting is we get really attached to either the outcome or the specific path. So how I spent years stuck in this pothole without even realizing it, because I said, I want to make more money. I want more abundance. I want more clients in my business. And I was so, and the part that really brought down the energy is I was attached to the path of making more money in my business. And so I got clear in October, and part of this is, and we'll talk about this whole thing, but I'm going to keep bringing up Greece because this is what's really made this absolute manifesting machine out of me. Is I got clear in October last year. We're going to Greece for an event, and we weren't able to go to the event last year. I drew a series of things. I wasn't really able, I chose not to spend my money on that. Don't ever say you can't afford things. I chose not to invest my money in that. And that moment, that was not aligned. And so right after that event was over, I was like, I am clear. I'm going to Greece, and I'm going to pay for it cash. I don't want to spend $6,000 to $8,000 on a credit card and then pay even more money in interest. I'm going to pay this trip in cash. And so I said to myself, I'm going to Greece. I'm going to make more abundance to make that Greece trip happen. So we get so attached to the path of the outcome. I was clear, I'm going to Greece, I'm making it happen. So I was attached to the outcome, but not the path. And I just said, I want more money, more abundance, please, so I can make this $6,000 to $8,000 myself. And I'll take it in my business, out of my business, whatever. So my step was, I kept just asking the universe, please let me see the doors, the opportunities for more money and more income. They're already around me, and I know it. Money is always flowing to me. I just was closing it off, like being like, oh, I only want money through my business, basically like looking through binoculars. So all the money, all the universe is trying to hand me something right here, but I can't see it. So I just said, I want to make more abundance. Let me see the opportunities. I will check if they're aligned. If they're aligned, I will take them, and without question, without preference. And that's when I started becoming this manifesting machine. And I'll tell you a fun story. I realized about 2 weeks ago that I manifested $6,000 randomly outside of my business. And then in addition, I've manifested so much more money in my business. I've already hit what I made last year. I've already hit that income this year. Like, it was sometime in June, because I got clear and I was like, I am becoming a magnet for abundance to create this Greece trip. I don't care about the specific path. I'm just clear, and I don't care about the money. So like, that's the thing about money is a vehicle. It's not a destination. I'm creating the outcome. The destination is Greece. I don't care if I get there by plane, train, automobile, ferry, it doesn't matter. And when we talk about the specific outcome being money, money is a plane, train, or automobile. Money is not a destination. So that's where we get all hung up and attached to the outcome. But another way to say this is, when we're manifesting, it's like ordering in a restaurant. You want to be clear and specific to the wait staff, but not so clear and so not so controlling. So it's like saying, I want a Western omelet, add mushrooms, and instead of toast, I'd like a fruit plate. But I'm not so controlling that I'm then following the wait staff back in the kitchen and telling this cook how to make my omelet. I'm clear and specific what I want. I'm placing that order to the universe and letting go of the how, just assuming that what's going to come to me is delicious. And then sometimes, especially when we talk about, there is an amount of letting go of the outcome. Like, yes, I was like, I want to go to Greece, but I also knew that if it's not for me, and this gets into my belief system, but if I'm not meant to go to Greece, it won't happen. And that's okay. Something even better still will. And so, especially, or I guess a better way to say it is like, if I'm not able to go to this event that we want to go to in Greece, I'm still going to go to Greece. I let go of the outcome of like the need for this event to do that. Because what if it was something even better still? What if I asked for ham and then they gave me prosciutto or bacon or something like that? Well, that's better than ham. And so that's why we always say, this or something even better still. And I love that. Don't limit yourself by trying to control the how, is the moral of the story. It doesn't matter how this comes about. It is just being clear what you want and being open to the opportunities to create it in whatever way comes up. So this is how we prevent ourselves from manifesting machines. You get attached to the outcome or the path. Just be open to what is it you want to create. And it has to be a real desire. And this is, I would say 90% of the people I talk to, this is the pothole they're sitting in. What they want is not actually a real desire. Again, they want more abundance. Well, abundance is the vehicle. It's not the destination. It's whatever the abundance is going to get you. Like, if you want $1 million today, what would you do with it? I would travel. I would hire people in my business. Okay, great. My real desire is not money. My real desire is support in my business and travel. So that's what I focus on. But this is where we get all hung up, and the nuances. It's amazing. And this is why I love what I do, is really helping people get to their true and deep desire, because it's really easy. If we're focused on wanting more abundance in our life, we're on a hamster wheel, we can never get it. And a real desire is something you want because you want it. Like I want to go to Greece because I want to go to Greece. There's no, because people are gonna think I'm successful or whatever. I want the experience of having it. I desire that. I'm choosing that. So that's how we know it's a real desire. There's no secondary intentions. If you're gonna need it, if what you're wanting to manifest is so that da 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 da, it's automatically not a real desire. And this is where we all get hung up in. And again, I already said this, but money is a vehicle. None of us want money in our life. We want safety, stability, security, freedom, control, independence, comfort. I'm here to tell you right now, those are the potholes. If having more money is going to get you stability, safety, security, freedom, control, you'll never be able to manifest it, because if you really knew that you are free, you don't want freedom. And so that's why, and that's part of the reason why we get stuck in this hamster wheel, is if I want money so then I can feel safe, or if I want money because it's going to prove something to somebody, that we are in a hamster wheel, we'll never be able to manifest it. Again, we don't want money because we want a swimming pool of money. We want what the money's going to get us, but the traps and the potholes along the way is, if we think it's going to get us safety, stability, security, we'll never be able to manifest that. And let me share with you, I talked about how the manifestation trap I sat with in my business is, I want to make more abundance in my business. That was my manifestation statement. And that was what, like, manifestation I was working on for years. And I would do this little baby steps, and I would go up a little bit and then plateau, and then go up a little bit and then do some healing, do something and plateau. And it was literally like this for years and years and years. And then sometimes the plateau would be long or whatever. Sometimes I'd go up a lot, but I would always hit this glass ceiling again. When I know, and the reality is, you can hit an exponential growth curve at any given moment, but I was in manifesting, and I was blocking myself in doing that because it was coming from my ego. And so my egoic desire, and I used to say, what I really used to focus on is, I want to make $100,000 in my business. And why do I want that? Because only 10% of coaches ever get that. And why do I want that? Because that means that those are successful elite coaches, and I want to be successful and elite. And why do I want that? Because I want to be special. Well, that's not a real desire. And the desire is to grow my business, but the secondary intention of I want to feel special was preventing me from manifesting. It was what was putting the hard brakes on it. And it was my ego that was saying, you're not special, and the money will make you feel special. But my highest calling, and so like that's what I got clear in, is my highest calling, my manifestation power statement is, like, I choose to be an abundantly successful business owner. Why do I want to be an abundantly successful business owner? Because I want to help as many people as possible. Why do I want to help as many people as possible? Because I like helping people. I desire it. It's my favorite thing to do. Like, I love doing it. It's the act of it that I enjoy. So that is how we know it is not from my ego. But to untrained ear, the difference between I want to make $100,000 in my business and I want to be an abundantly successful business owner, I've had many people say, like, but isn't that the same? Very different, because the root desire of I want to be an abundantly successful business owner is I want to help people because I want to help people, not because $100,000 means something about me and it's going to prove to myself I'm successful, and all the people that said whatever, blah, 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 blah. So this is the pothole we fall into all the time. I would say most people are sitting in this when they're having issues manifesting. They're manifesting from their ego. There's some secondary intention or something. They're trying to get something to complete them. And so it's really how you manifest is manifesting from your highest self and getting to a real desire. And why is it that 90% of people I talk to are in this? Is because we live in a problem solving. We have a problem solving mindset because we live in a problem solving country. Our country was founded on the idea that taxation is the problem. What are we going to do? Throw tea in a bay, have a revolution. So more than any other country in the United States, and I've heard this from international people, Americans are problem solvers. But what happens when you're a hammer? Everything's a nail. When you're a problem solver, you will have an unlimited supply of problems in your life. And usually the problem solving is we are trying to manifest the opposite. Like we want abundance because we're sick of scarcity. We want a partner because we're sick of being lonely. We're trying to move away from something we don't want instead of actually something we desire. And again, it might look the same, but it's just the nuances and the words and the energy and the emotions behind it need to be different. And we get so focused on the problem of trying to move away from the thing we don't want, we've created a tension relationship. So like when you move, it moves. Like you go left, it goes left, and you can't let go. Just like how there's tension, like when I talk about tension, this is a tension relationship. When I affect this end, it affects the other end too. But these rubber band, this is a rubber band. They're stuck together. There's a tension here. So that's why we want to stop trying to move away from things. We are, let me say this better, because we don't want to stop doing something we want to stop. We want to move into something we desire deeply, not try and move away from something we don't want. So that is one of the big things. And this is the biggest pothole that people find themselves in again and again, because we're focused on the problem of what we don't want. We're trying to get away from the problem. What this sounds like in our life oftentimes is, when I fix this, then I can blank. When this circumstance is different, then I can whatever. And people, when the kids graduate, then I'll travel. Like when I lose the weight, then I'll take the boudoir pictures. Like when this, then that. People live in this when-then society, but they're just trying to solve a problem right now. It's like the problem with the kids is like not having the time or money to travel, or, having a problem of responsibility or whatever that is. So we need to get out of this problem-solving mindset. If we really want to create and become a manifesting machine, it is a mindset of conscious creation. It is tuning into our heart's deepest desire, getting like, what do we desire? Getting clear why we desire it. Again, that's how you assess if it's a real desire. So you get clear what you want, and why you want it, and you visualize it. And when I say visualize, you play the movie in your mind as best you can. I want to share, a visualization is not a strong suit. I have clients that say that they can't visualize in their mind that have been able to become manifesting machines. So if that's something that you experience trouble visualizing, I'd be happy to help you and talk you through a way to make it work for you. But generally speaking, when I say visualize, play the movie in your mind the best you can, but it's about the energy and the emotions. So like when I'm living that reality, what emotions would I be feeling? Feeling those emotions in your body now, sensorizing it. The reason why we do this is the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a visualization, what's happening in reality, and a movie. And you know that because if you see something scary in a movie, go boom, you jump, because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. So that's why visualization is such a powerful tool. We use it in our benefit so we can actually harness our subconscious mind to start thinking that we've already experienced it, harnessing. So we get clear what we want, why we want it, visualize it. You take baby steps towards it, little action steps in the world. And it's regardless of the external circumstances. And I want to share, this is one of the main traps people fall in that go from a conscious creation mindset to a problem solving mindset, is they take something happens in the external world and they take their eyes off the goal of what they're wanting to create. And I had one woman that came to me, and she had spent 3 years in a problem solving and that makes you oscillate. You have what you want and then you lose it, and you have what you want and then you lose it. Or sometimes you're just stuck when you're in a problem solving mindset. You can't get anything. No matter what you do, you're in the exact same place from one time to the next. But this specific woman was she was a full-time mom and like had a hobby business, and her kids were old enough she really wanted a part-time business. So every time she went to go launch her business, she had freak accidents, family emergencies, crazy things come up in the external world. So what happened? She put her business to the side completely. And it was one of the things, her kid broke both of his arms. Her sister got in a car accident, which had some injuries, and her car was totaled. So she had to drive her sister around and take care of her. She was slapped with a custody suit because she was a bonus mom, and they had custody issues. Their family got really sick for 6 weeks. Every single time one of these things happened, she would completely stop working on her business. And the reason why she came to me, and she knew that in some way she must have been manifesting, really, she wasn't manifesting the negative things. She was orchestrating the timing around that by saying she was manifesting that she would set a goal. I'm going to launch my business and within 7 to 10 days, these freak accidents would happen. But where she went wrong and why this kept happening again and again to stop her is she completely tabled her business. And I'm sure even though her son broke both of his arms, she could have done a social media post a week. She could have found one client to coach or whatever it was. Like, she completely said, I'm going to put my business to the side. So once she did that once, her subconscious mind was like, oh my gosh, all I need to do is like, make this chaotic situation outside of you and you'll just put your dream to the side. Again, it was just wanting to keep her safe. And so, but where she went wrong is she took her eyes off her goal, and that because of the external circumstances. So this is how we stay in conscious creation. No matter what if once we get clear on what we want, why, we visualize it, we take action steps. And again, she could have visualized her goal. She could have worked with one client at a time. She could have done social media posts. She could have attended one networking event a month, but she chose to do nothing for her business. And that's where she got stuck, is letting the external circumstances dictate her reality. So anyways, I just wanted to share that to help you get out of that specific pothole. So the third way we block ourselves from manifesting is that we don't yet have the identity of what we're wanting, of the person who has whatever we want. So let me tell you about a story, about a man and a boat. There was a man, this is a real life story I learned from my mentor, and I just loved this story because it was such a clear example. This man had been, it was either 5 or 10 years. He had been wanting, he was an entrepreneur and he was decently successful, but couldn't get to the next level. For the last 5 or 10 years, he was trying to scale his business. And he was like, I want to buy this $250,000 boat. He lived in Australia next to this beautiful lake. And he's like, I want this $250,000 speedboat and I'm just going to paddle around the lake, whatever. So he kept saving money for 5 to 10 years. He was working on this, saving money. And every time he saved enough money, he's like, oh, I'm starting to be able to make a down payment for the boat. His car would break down, something would happen, and he wasn't able to buy the boat. So he started working with my mentor, and my mentor heard the story and said, okay, cool, go buy a kayak. And the man's like, no, I don't want a kayak. I want a speedboat, a $250,000 speedboat. And my mentor said, shut up and buy a kayak. Because the guy kept saying, no, I don't want to spend $200, $500, whatever kayak costs. It's like, I don't want to spend the $200 on this. I'm saving that money for my boat. And that my mentor was like, buy the kayak. Don't come back to a coaching session until you buy the kayak. And once you buy the kayak, go on the river, or sorry, the lake. Go be on that lake. And here's what's so crazy is that man bought a kayak and spent every Saturday morning just on the lake enjoying, because what he wanted was the experience of being on the lake and enjoying time in a boat. And things started to flow. Again, he was focused on the destination of, and really actually he was focused on the experience of being a boat owner, and then what would it be like to have an even better boat and an even better boat. So that's the destination. He never focused on scaling his business. He never focused on the money. But suddenly, magically, this is what happened to me too when I was talking about Greece. Magically, opportunities started to flow, and he made more money in his business or got more money some other way, and things started to flow, and he upgraded his $200 kayak for a dinghy. And then he upgraded his dinghy for a motor, and he bought a motor, and then he upgraded that for a little power boat, and then a speed, and I don't know the boat levels, but he literally went from a $200 boat to a $500 boat to a $5,000 boat to a $10,000 boat to a $100,000 boat to a speedboat. And within 18 months, he had his $250,000 boat. And all he did was buy a kayak and just go be on the water. He created the identity of a man who owns the boat on that lake. And once he had that identity, things just started to focus, to flow. So how do you do that in your life? How do you become a boat owner if what you want is a boat? You focus on where you have what you want already in your life. Like, where do you have that now? So if you're lonely, where do you have love in your life? Maybe it's love for a pet or from a pet. Maybe it's love for the state that you live in. Anytime you're feeling like you don't have love in your life, you focus on where's the love. Anytime you're feeling like you're sick and what you want is more health, instead of saying, oh, I want more health in my life, you focus on where you have health now. And if you are in this place of scarcity, you focus on where you have abundance in this moment. And my favorite practice and exercise around this is when I was really focused on creating and building abundance in my life, I'd wake up and be like, I have an abundance of air right now. I have an abundance of clean water to drink, which, I mean, some people have terrible air quality in Denver isn't great right now, but some people really struggle, and clean air is not a given. Clean water is not a given. And so just having unquestionable access to these necessary things of life is such a gift. And I am already I am already abundant because I have abundance in love from my dog, love for my dog. Like, so if you want to create more abundance in your life, notice where you're already abundant in your life. And when your focus is on where you have abundance, it is easier to feel and create the identity of being abundant, which is the very thing you need to become more abundant. So the fourth pothole that we fall into when we're manifesting is we are out of alignment. I talked about that earlier, but it's really, if you have the fishing pole that breaks in half, it's really hard to fish like this. You got to put the fishing pole together. You got to get your thoughts in alignment with your beliefs and your emotions so you can cast out and reel in what you desire. And so you need to be in alignment between your conscious desire and your thoughts. Your unconscious and subconscious is the same thing, but that's your beliefs and your emotions. But the problem is the thing that prevents you from snapping your beliefs and emotions into place with your desires and your thoughts is these traumas and limiting beliefs and all the emotional mental baggage, all of the battle scars that we carry actually prevents us from being able to manifest. So you will always, when you're manifesting, you will always get what you unconsciously or subconsciously believe that you deserve, not what you consciously want. And so that's why, to get in alignment, this is the most important sentence in this entire thing, this highest manifestation, highest calibration statement in your life. I think plus I believe equals I receive. If you can get your thoughts in alignment with your beliefs, you will receive whatever you want in your life. This is, and what I do is helping people get their their beliefs in alignment with their thoughts so that they can become manifesting machines. And again, just I'm saying this again and again so you can just understand, this is getting your conscious thoughts and your subconscious desires. They're in the back of the taxi cab yelling, right, right. And then the super conscious will go right. So you're just giving the same instructions, the same goals, and you will receive what you want in your life or something even better still. And again, the limitation is getting the subconscious to release the fears, the traumas, all those limitations. Because it just wants to keep us safe. I want to be clear, and I don't want to demonize what's happening in our subconscious. Our subconscious is such a gift. It is just running on old instructions. So to bring this to a close, this is the one slide you've been waiting for this entire time. Here's the protocol of how you start manifesting. You get clear on your real desire, and you do that by tapping into the why behind your desire. You visualize it daily, again, knowing your subconscious can't tell the difference between visualization and reality. So you visualize it with the emotions, the senses, as best as you can. And I'm not kidding about daily. I recommend, if you want to manifest something, a practice of manifesting while you brush your teeth, or visualizing while you brush your teeth is the best way to manifest. You already have those 2 minutes of the day taken up. You might as well focus them on what it is that you want to create in your life. Spending 2 minutes visualizing that while you brush your teeth in the morning and 2 minutes visualizing it when you brush your teeth at night, that's plenty of time to start creating it in your reality. The next step after you visualize is releasing the resistance, fear, self-doubt, procrastination, unworthiness, limiting beliefs, traumas, whatever that is for you, that is preventing you from manifesting. Again, this is the step that I do with my clients. And you can, like, there are things that you can do on your own. You don't need a neuroscientist to help you release resistance. It's just, I help you get farther faster with all my neuroscience-based tools. And again, another way to say releasing resistance is getting your beliefs and emotions in alignment with your desires, and you take action. I'm going to pause for just a second here so you can take a screenshot, because this is what we've all been waiting for. This is the protocol of how you manifest. And I know I had to talk a lot to get you all the background information to get you to this moment, but how you become a manifesting machine. And let me share, a manifesting machine means that you go from I don't have abundance to I have abundance. That's manifesting. But to be a manifesting machine, you go from I have abundance to I am abundance. And that's the shift I've been able to do in the last year that has helped me become this like unstoppable manifestation machine for everything I desire, because I realize I am abundant. I realize I am special. Anything I wanted more of in my life, I am already that. And so if you would like to become a manifesting machine, I would love to help you step into the beingness of having the identity of what you're already creating. And so I'm offering a free 45-minute manifesting machine coaching session. This is only for the first couple people that register because I've got very limited spots. I'm going to Greece, so I've only a little bit of time in my calendar. But if you feel so called, you can follow the QR code. Here's the link in the chat. To get my time like this and all the coaching would normally cost $197, but it's free for anybody who is booking right now. I only have a couple spots available. And what we would do in this manifesting machine calls, I will tell you what you can do today. What are the steps you can take today to help you get closer to manifesting what you want? And we'll map out what that looks like in the future. Like, how can you consistently work towards your dreams and consistently take action steps? So if you don't know what the action step is towards your dream, the most obvious action step is just to book a call, chat with me. This is zero obligation. I just literally absolutely love supporting people and becoming manifesting machines. Oh, there's the link. It's ubu.as.me/manifest. Again, you can also you can scan the QR code. And yes, somebody just asked in the chat, everything I do is teach people how to be a manifesting machine. And we work together using ways that I work with my clients. There's coaching, there's biofeedback, there's all of this. I have a membership that helps people become manifesting machines called the Empower Living membership. But yes, everything I do with people is helping people unlock whatever it is it takes them to become a manifesting machine. If you have any questions, you can reach out. Here's my email address and my phone number. So you can get a hold of me anytime. And with that, I will stop the screen share. I would love, if anybody has any questions, I would be happy to answer them or anything like that. Otherwise, I can pause the recording if there's something you want to share later. And I appreciate it. We took a couple extra minutes. So thank you guys for the time. Okay, cool. I'll just pause the recording since nobody's